Thank you for joining the Asheville Rise Stronger Together podcast. This is your host, Jessica Knupp with the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce. I hope you enjoy today's episode. This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, True Point Bank. Great. Today we are here with Tony Morris from Sun Soo Martial Arts, and we are thrilled to have you here on our podcast. And also, you're just an incredible supporter of the chamber, and we appreciate that so much. So,
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, for everyone out there that's watching, can you tell us a little bit about your business and what makes it unique and how it got started?
Well, to start,
Yeah.
well, that's a couple questions rolled into one. I'll start with the first. So, Asheville Sun Soo is an awesome community. Mm-hmm. It's a collection of several hundred families with a really diverse group of people, and diversity and variety measured in every way that you can, starting with age. Like our youngest students are 3.
I love that.
And
they're so cute too.
They're super cute. And our oldest practicing adult right now is 75. That's awesome. And that is a woman who started at 69.
Wow.
And she just recently earned her second degree black belt. She goes to class 4 times a week.
Wow.
So, and we got everything in between.
Yeah.
And then, we got different body types, confidence levels, life experience, religious and spiritual beliefs, political persuasions, various orientations about different things. And in the world at any point in our history, I think this would be true, but I think it's especially true now, and that is that there's a lot of division. There's a lot of divisiveness happening.
Right.
And one of the things that is characteristic of the community that we have at Sun Soo that's remarkable and beautiful is that with this really huge variety and diversity, all these different perspectives and orientations, it's the single place that I've seen where people not only coexist without any conflict, they coexist with cooperative and enthusiastic and inspiring, mutual uplifting. And so the ethos in there is about everybody making progress by virtue of everybody lifting everybody up, as opposed to trying to beat each other down.
Right.
And that's a cool thing, but it's also a bit ironic in a martial arts context, because most people, when they think of martial arts, they think of, it has a conflict context.
Right.
Think about fighting and stuff like that. And we're not about fighting, by the way. We're about self-defense. But way bigger than that. We're about people realizing their potential. And we have this base belief that everybody is capable of being great, because they are. The definition of greatness from one person to the next varies because everybody's different, but everybody's got a great version of themselves. Everybody has the best version of themselves. Most people live a life not experiencing that, not actualizing that.
Right.
And for a variety of reasons, often outside of themselves. They believe what somebody else told them or what culture told them or whatever.
What they think they're supposed to be.
Yeah, they got all these disempowering beliefs and obstacles and stuff like that, right? So I think one of the things that makes the place work is that we have this really strong current. And I like to make this river analogy. So, we got the French Broad here running through Asheville, and then not too far away, we got the Nantahala. If you compare those two rivers, the French Broad is really wide and shallow. And you can stand up in the French Broad in most places and do whatever.
Yeah.
And the current's not strong enough to make you move at all.
Right.
If you try to stand up in the Nantahala, I wish you luck, right? Like that current's gonna take you down.
Right.
You got no chance against it. So fortunately in our school, the really strong current that we have is super positive. You can't come into Sun Soo and then regularly show up every week and not make progress. It's impossible. The positive current is so strong that whatever you're like when you show up, you're just going to be a better version of that next week, and better the next week, and better the next week. That becomes contagious. There's not a person on the earth that doesn't enjoy that and appreciate that. And then this other cool thing happens, which is that as people make progress and notice it, their outlook on life begins to change. Even if they were positively oriented to begin with, they still had limits to how much they thought was possible.
Right.
And the where people had previously defined their limits, that begins to expand as the progress that they're currently making happens in ways that they didn't expect. It starts occurring to them, even if only subconsciously,
Right.
that maybe they can expand in other ways. Just like they have in these, and so they become more optimistic, and that starts to become a catalyst for even more. So it becomes a self-perpetuating thing. And so imagine that times several hundred.
Right.
So it's a super cool place. We are using a traditional martial arts practice as the basic doing this, like we're doing some stuff together. But we could be in there making banjos, and I'd be interested in having the same,
Right.
kind of ethos. It just happens to be that a traditional martial arts practice um, easily offers a great venue for progress because the movements that we're doing are specifically defined, and there's a correct way and a incorrect way, and so it's easy to measure progress. And then we've got a really structured curriculum that's very well organized and laid out, and we have a really large instruction staff, and we all teach consistently. And I'm the head teacher, and I teach everybody. Um, and so it's really easy to see the progress. And so it makes for a really good model. And then the cool thing is, then as a byproduct, because we're doing that anyway, I'm a big fan of doing things excellently. So we actually teach really, really fantastic martial arts skills. Like that happens as a long term byproduct. But it's not even the reason that I have the place.
Right.
I have the place because I believe in people. I think that great things happen for people individually and then for their respective communities when they're making progress because it produces a positive outlook and optimism, and then they want to become catalysts for other people quite naturally and all that.
Right.
And so, as cliche as it sounds, it actually makes the world a better place. Like it's the coolest thing. So that's what that's a brief description of Sun Tzu.
Yes.
Several hundred people a day come through there,
Yeah.
40 classes a week and all that. The way that started was I was bullied when I was a kid. I was bullied for a couple of years, starting in third grade,
Yeah.
and by near the end of fourth grade, it'd been going on for 2 years. And we moved a lot when I was a kid, but like my parents were each the first in their respective families to go to college. They came from really uneducated rural families, and so we didn't have any money, and they were trying to work and go to school. And my sister came along when I was 6, and so we really struggled financially, and we kept moving from one really rundown place to another.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really have to handle I was scared of the bully, and I didn't have to handle the bully because we would just move.
Move. Right.
And I'd,
Yeah.
go like that, right?
That was over. Yeah.
But eventually we would stop moving.
Right.
And then also interestingly, and life has a way of doing this, the bullies in each iteration became more intense. They were bigger, meaner. It was like it was a play,
Right.
Set
Right.
up. And when we finally stopped moving, the bully in this case was 3 years older than me, which was a big deal at the time because
Yeah.
by this point
Of
I was,
course.
11 and,
Yeah.
14 and a half and 11. That's a big
That's
difference.
a big difference.
Hairy kid and
Yeah.
muscles and. And my new best friend at the time saw what was going on, and he, and everybody was scared of this kid, even the adult bus drivers, which made it even scarier, right?
Right.
Because
Like they're
nobody's gonna
supposed to
help,
be able to
right?
protect you.
So my best friend at the time came to me one day and he said, "Hey man, you want to take karate with me and my whole family?" Which was especially remarkable because this was 1972, and in 1972, very few people practiced martial arts, and almost no kids. It was all an adult thing. It was all an adult man thing at the time. So it was unreal that I even had this opportunity. I go home and ask my parents, and my dad said, "We can't afford it." I go back to school and tell him I didn't know he was going to do this. He comes back next day and he said, "My dad," he said, "My dad said he'd pay for your whole first year." And as a little kid, that was like winning the lottery, right?
Yeah.
So my dad almost didn't let me do that because of pride and all that. But
Sure.
I started practiced really hard. I learned enough in the first few months to make the bullying stop, changed my life. But I had no intention of being a lifetime practitioner.
Right.
But Mr. Godley was his name, had paid for my first year, so I kept practicing until the year ended.
Yeah.
When the year ended, I was deriving all these benefits. I was, smart kid anyway, but I was finding it even easier to focus in school, and I was a pretty good athlete, but I was playing the sports I played even better, and
Right.
and I, was hanging around all these adults in class, and so my confidence level was going up and all that. So I wanted to keep practicing, but that first year free for me ended, and I couldn't afford it. I went to my teacher and I said, "I got to stop." And he said, "You're a good student. You're not going to stop. And you're going to pay for your practice. But the way you're going to pay for it is you're going to mop the floors and clean the toilets and wash the mirrors." And I said, "Yes, sir." So, that was the beginning. And it just so happened that I just kept practicing it through all these different stages of life: elementary school, middle school, high school. I went off to college and paid my way through undergraduate and grad school and kept practicing. And got married and kept practicing. Had my kid, kept practicing. I became an architect, kept practicing. I became an owner in that firm, kept practicing. I did that for 20 years. And I got burnt. My kid was 3, and I was working 70-hour weeks. And I didn't want to be an absentee dad. And I couldn't, I was very successful as an architect, but I couldn't figure out how to have that profession accommodate me in the way I wanted to live.
Right.
Felt like too much. So I quit.
Yeah.
And I'm a portrait artist also, and I did commission portraiture for a year and a half. I was teaching on the side for fun at the Y, and while still practicing, and I noticed that I had a lot of students. I had more students than anybody else in my organization, and I wasn't even trying. I think I enjoyed it so much.
Yes, listen, when you're passionate about
enthusiasm is
something,
infectious.
it
right?
is.
Yeah.
It is so infectious.
So I grew this program at the Y from, I took somebody else's class over that had 6 people, and I had 85 by the end of the first year.
My goodness.
And I thought, I guess I can enroll people.
I guess this is working.
So I moved to Asheville, fall of 2006, and in January 2007, I opened the doors at Asheville Sun Soo. Sun Soo, the correct pronunciation is Sun Soo. Sun Soo in Korean means pure. I wanted to name the school something that would make reference to the sort of ethos that I want to have in the culture and community there. And people actualizing their potential feels like a pure process to me. Like people in their natural state are good and nice and smart and powerful and beautiful, and these are birthrights. And we go askew somewhere along the way, but I think those are pure states. So that's how I named the school, and I didn't know anybody in Nashville. And
but you can't say that now.
No. and I had no idea how to do this.
Right.
And that's a long story in and of itself, but the main factor that I think is relevant, and this actually relates to my participation in partnership with the chamber, is I value relationship. I value contribution. I value mutual benefit, win-win. And so I was really intentional about meeting as many people as I could when I first got here. And every time I'd met somebody that I really liked, you could tell, I would probe them for who else should I meet. And I would tell them, I am going to open, because I hadn't done it yet, so I'm going to open the world's coolest martial arts school. And I want you to tell me the 5 people that you're most enthusiastic about in this community, so that I can go meet them and ask them who their 5 people are. And I'm going to invite these cool people to my school.
Oh, that's great.
My naive idea at the time was that I was going to seed this place with the coolest people in Asheville.
Yeah.
And that's literally what I did. So, and they became kind of like golden goose, and the next week I'd have 2 or 3 of their friends, and the next week. Yeah. So by year 5-ish or so, we had over 700 students.
Was this when you were at the location on Patton? Okay.
Yep. And to put that in perspective, the average size of most martial arts schools in the United States is about 150 students.
And you have 700.
So we were at 700 in year 5.
Wow.
And I didn't really know what I was doing. I knew that I love people.
Right.
I knew that I appreciate excellence, and I get really bothered by mediocrity. And I conjectured that was true for other people. I just presumed that it was.
Yeah.
But I think that presumption then attracted other people for whom that's true, and probably repelled people for whom that was not true. And so that's how it started.
I love that.
We started as just a martial arts school. We now, in year 9, we added an after-school program. Our after-school program is amazing. We have a fleet of 7 15-passenger vans we pick up from over 20 different elementary schools.
Wow.
We bring kids back for a totally structured afternoon that includes homework, healthy snacks, team building skills, social skills, leadership skills, conflict resolution skills. We teach 6-year-olds how to resolve conflict better than most adults I know in a mature, respectful, and sustainable way.
Yeah.
So that at the end of the resolution, they're friends.
Yeah.
And most adults I know don't do that.
No.
They're kind of like, screw you, and I'm
Yeah,
not going to talk to
I'm
you
done.
anymore. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of what's happening there. We have 9 weeks of summer camp every summer now. It's a really robust summer camp week, and every week is themed and educational. We take field trips the middle 3 days of every week with the vans, and we go to places like this. It's basically a private Jurassic Park. This multimillionaire built in Tennessee somewhere for
Nice.
Dinosaur Week, and
Yeah.
we take them to a space museum, and we take them to the zoo down in Greenville, and it's the best summer camp in town. Everything that we do is intended to be constructive and productive. Like, we don't want to spend a moment with a kid that's just container.
Sure.
And also, we're the only martial arts school in town with a large adult population, which I'm really proud of too, because the cultural conversation about martial arts is really great for kids.
Yeah.
And my little smart aleck answer to that is, you're right, and we're all kids.
Right.
We're just older kids.
Yes,
right?
they're just older kids.
Yeah.
Well, speaking just really quick about the camp, because I know this time of year a lot of people are looking already for camp.
Yeah.
And when did the
Enrollments have
sign-up- already?
enrollments. We close the week between Christmas and New Year's every year, and we open our enrollment for we open early enrollment for summer camps on January 1, January 2 actually, we close
Right.
January 1. And this year we went back, and the message queue was full from our voicemail in the school.
Oh.
We had 20 requests for registrations on January 2nd. They come in.
Yeah.
So we already have 50 something kids registered
Okay.
for camp
Great.
this summer, and we have room for 700 or so, something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
All right. I know for the parents out there that are looking at summer, that's great. So
It's an excellent camp.
you got to get that ahead of time.
I'm gonna I want to say something for the purposes of just like measuring something. So in the public voting with Mountain Express, Best WNC, our martial arts program for both kids and adults has been voted number 1 for 19 years straight now.
Wow.
I'm sorry, 18 years straight. Our after school program has been voted number 1 for 10 years straight. Our kids summer camps have been voted number 1 for 17 years straight. Our kids night out program, we have a kids night out once a month, giant kid party that's also super structured and
Yeah.
constructive and all that. It's been voted number 1 for 16 years straight. So that's kids night out, summer camp, after school, martial arts, kids, martial arts. So 5 different categories.
Yeah.
Number 1 for several years running.
Yeah.
So the point I want to make about that is, I said something about excellence earlier. We endeavor to only do things that we can do excellently. If we have an idea and we get excited about it, but we can't do it excellently, we won't do it. Which is the reason that we didn't add an after school program until year 9, because we weren't set for it.
You just weren't ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, learning about everything that you do, and I've been to numerous events where you have been a speaker or hosting or something. I hadn't heard all of that story. So yes, it got me a little teary, and that I knew that there was a background of some sort. I've heard about the one where you were in college or something. There was one where you spoke about that. Anyway, but I really want to talk about kind of the hurricane.
Yeah.
And really, obviously we've now been through COVID and a hurricane.
Sure.
From managing all of those students, like what did that look like the day, like Thursday or Friday, and like how was that?
So I'm going to answer that, but before I jump into that answer, I want to also peg that in addition to having several hundred students, I got a staff of almost 30 people.
Yeah.
And so it's taking care of all those people too.
Right.
So if we back up to COVID, we have a congregate business, and all congregate businesses just like took a giant hit with COVID, right? Because and I'm not complaining, like nobody knew the dangers of COVID, and we were all just doing the best we can. But governor shut us down to in-person business for 6 months when COVID hit.
Right.
So during COVID, I know this was not your question, but it's a backstory to it.
It's okay.
The way I pivoted and saved my staff was we turned Asheville Sun Soo. First of all, we started doing Zoom classes on day 3. So standing like a monkey in front of the camera, doing all these moves with, all these people in their houses being projected up onto a screen. It looked like
Yeah.
a Brady Bunch screen,
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on steroids though, because
Yes.
we'd have 50 to 70 people in
Yeah,
class
we
at
were
a time.
doing the same thing
Yeah,
here at the chamber. We were having after hours
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
Zoom.
yeah, yeah. And
So,
yeah, I was participating in some of
yeah,
those.
you were there.
And my refrain was like, can you move your kitten out of the way, so.
Yeah.
But so we did that, but we lost over half our students in 2 weeks because people thought the sky was falling in, they were gonna
Sure.
lose their jobs, and blah blah blah. So I retained staff I had by we went to Zoom classes on day 3, and then we turned Asheville Sun Soo into an academic school
Mm,
for a year because the public school system was closed for in person for a year.
right.
You still had a bunch of families where both parents worked.
Yes.
They can't facilitate their kids,
No.
doing the online work and all that kind of stuff. It's impossible, right?
Yes.
So we were lifesavers to a lot of families and provided jobs for our staff. So we could be in person for academic venue as long as we followed the distancing rules and all that. So we had these little kids with headphones bigger than their heads. They look like astronauts
Right.
with masks on, and they're at the ends of opposite ends of 6-foot tables
Right.
with their laptops and their
Doing preschool. Some of them were doing pre.
yeah, and it was nuts.
I'm
But
like, how do you do
we had our staff facilitating that. We
Yeah.
had about 50 kids. Like we ran a school of about 50
Yeah.
kids, different ages. It was like a Montessori school.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
But the great thing was those kids didn't suffer the way all the other kids did because
Mm-hmm.
they got socialization. We could still go outside, outdoor play field about the size of a football
Yeah.
field, and we could take a mask out there, and they could engage with each other. We had group activities. We ate meals together. So, not to overplay it, but we were like lifesavers to a lot of families,
Mm-hmm.
not just for the logistical functioning of the academic engagement that we were doing with them, but we provided some like normalcy.
Right.
You
We
know,
didn't have any.
social engagement. They got to keep friends and
Mhm.
relate to each other. I mean, it was cool, and I was so proud of us because I had this amazing staff,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to keep them
Right.
because we could redirect the work, and the families were really appreciative because it helped them. So that was great. Um, so then we took the next 3 years or whatever climbing out of COVID,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then oh my God, here comes the hurricane,
I know.
right? And we hadn't climbed back to the level that we were pre-COVID
Pre-COVID.
when Helene hit.
Mm-hmm.
So Helene hits, and who would have thought that hit, right?
Right.
Helene hits at about the 2-month mark, and this delay is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
At about the 2-month mark, we lost 25% of our students,
Really.
but it was because of traffic.
Yeah.
So you remember all the road damage?
Yeah.
So the roads get damaged, and now everybody's got to add an hour, like no kidding,
Mhm.
like an hour to whatever their drive time had been. So for a family for whom it might have been like a 12-minute drive to our
Sure.
studio, they now got to do an hour and 10 minutes or an hour and 12 minutes on each end.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just like, can't do it.
Right.
And I was like, I get it,
Yeah.
right? But people's lives reorganize and all that, and so most of them don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a really difficult hit, and I was determined not to have to let any staff go.
Right.
So last year was tough,
Mm-hmm.
but we climbed back a bunch. We continued being big parts of the chamber, and we just even more heavily invested ourselves in the various aspects of the community.
Mm-hmm.
Gave a lot of stuff away. We serviced a lot. I didn't advertise this because I'd go out of business doing it, but people that were struggling financially, we bent and helped them,
Yeah.
and we just made it possible. I'll just say that.
Right.
Because our commitment is to serve people, so we're going to do that the best we can.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, we didn't have any facility damage,
Good.
but power was out that first week, and no cell service and no internet service and all that.
Right.
We didn't have a way to communicate with students. We made social media posts, but that was only good for people that could get on there, and so
yeah.
and so we really were just kind of hanging out in space. We did a modified class schedule,
Mm.
and I put the emphasis on kids during that time because I felt like that was going to be the biggest return
Sure.
in terms of the value for families.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the time of year that hit, into September, we still had the daylight available, and so we ran 3 kids classes an afternoon using daylight because we got
Mm-hmm.
80 linear feet of storefronts,
Right.
light come in. And people would literally drive over to the school to see if we were open.
Mm-hmm.
And so little by little, people found out. And so we ran classes by daylight.
Wow.
Yep. And we had some students that live out in some rural parts that have wells, and we had 50-gallon drums in the bathrooms that we would dip pot to flush toilets with, so we could flush toilets.
Right.
We had a ton of bottled water that various people were donating. So we ran our classes that way. We ran abbreviated schedule classes that way. But then the other thing we did, and I got on the radio because that was the way people were communicating.
That's how we found out what was going on.
Yeah, so I got on the radio and we announced to the world that, so we got this after school program, right? Well, the schools were closed for a month. So for that, and we didn't know how long that was going to be.
We didn't know.
But we made this commitment. It was a bold commitment because, we just ate it. The commitment we made was we had the capacity for 100 kids in our after-school related structure. Our after-school program, as the name indicates, typically just serves kids after school, right? We go pick them up, and then we got them for 3 hours, and the parents come get them. Well, while the schools were closed down and everybody's suffering during Helene, we said, hey, you know what? We can do it, so this is what we're going to do. We'll keep kids all day. We'll keep them from 8 in the morning till 6 at night so parents can work and do your stuff. And we will only charge what we typically charge for after school. So we're going to give you 10 hours of care a day for the same price that we've been charging for 3 hours of care a day. And then for the families that can't afford it, we'll let you pay whatever you can afford. And so let me just say we lost a ton of money doing that because I paid staff, but it kept staff with jobs. It helped 100 families. It kept those kids together. Everybody was buoyed up. We felt like we were, serving our mission and fulfilling our purpose. I was really proud of that. We served as a sort of a depot clearinghouse for goods. And we basically just said, any goods that you have that you feel like other people might benefit from, bring them in here. And we had category pallets. We had some clothes. We had canned goods and box goods and water and first aid supplies, shower pumps, and all kinds of stuff. And everybody's on the honor system, and people just they would take what they needed and give what they could, like that. So we did that, and that's how we made it through Helene.
Yep. I think that's so wonderful, and I'm not shocked by anything that you said about helping the families as you could, or if they couldn't do it, and you just welcomed them into your family. And I'm not shocked at all by you saying that.
That's what people needed.
Yeah, we needed. Nothing was. We didn't expect. I mean, we were planning our event for the chamber, and we were like, rain or shine. Like earlier in the week, we were like, rain or shine, we're still having it. And then like Tuesday, we were like, oh, this might be more than we're expecting, And so it was really great to see the event itself and what we're going through is not great, but to see our community come together and help support each other in the way that we have,
it was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. And to get here to come visit, what does it look like now after a year? Like, how is anything like?
Yeah,
you can share if you want.
We're bustling.
Good.
We were a close community anyway, because the other thing that happens at Sun Soo is that we don't. You know how you can be part of a group in some other places and not really know people?
Right. Yes.
Which I just think is bizarre, by the way.
I don't really know how that feels because I'm more like, hey.
Yeah, right. That's your personality, right? But a lot of people, they can be part of a group for, be part of a church or whatever, and like really not know people. We've been there for 20 years.
Yeah.
But our people really know each other really well. But because we went through that together, people were even closer, and we've continued to build back, and so our build back is really healthy now. It's just bustling. It's just humming. You come in there and it's just like this really, really happy, busy place where a lot of things are happening, and it's all positive and it's all progressive, and it's all progressive in terms of progress, right?
Right.
And we are almost. If we wanted to put things in financial terms, we're almost fully recovered from the financial hit. And at the trajectory that we're currently on, we'll bypass that first quarter.
Okay.
And I'm just thankful. I didn't have any particular projections because there's so many factors in a big situation like this, and we're only in control of so much. We just did everything we could in every direction and just trusted that it would eventually work out.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. So if, I'm shocked that you said you only had 7 vans, because I feel like there's so many more than that, because I feel like I see them everywhere.
This is 7.
There's 7.
Yeah.
Okay. So if anybody wants to learn more about your classes, your schedule, the after school program, the summer program, or getting involved as an adult, how can they find your information?
I'm going to tell you that, but let me tell you a couple other things that we do.
Please do.
We also, so I do a lot of public speaking, some motivational, inspirational stuff, some presentation things. We also provide seminars on various topics, including safety and awareness and self-defense. We do professional team building workshops for people too, from a martial arts perspective, which is really fun for a lot of companies because it helps people to see things from different angles.
Yeah.
Usually, it's not new information, but they take it in differently.
Yeah.
And then we do public demonstrations in a lot of places as a contribution of entertainment.
Right.
So those things are predominant there too. I want to make sure people know that. But the way people can get in touch with us is you can old school come in and see us.
Hey.
We're in the River Ridge Marketplace. It's exit 8 off of 240. We're right next to a really unique store called Hamrick's. We have a gorgeous 12,500 square foot facility, which we also use to host other things, including some chamber events.
Yes,
right?
chamber events.
Yeah, so you can come see us personally. You can call us. Our phone number is 828-505-4309. You can look us up on the web. Our website is martialartsasheville.com.
Okay.
Spelled all as one word. And we got a Facebook and Instagram presence, and they're both Asheville Sun Soo Martial Arts. So any of those ways, we'd love to see you. We offer a free intro process for anybody wanting to explore practice with us. So no strings attached, no obligation. You come in, we'll spend 45 minutes with you or so. And you'll know within the first 5 minutes, but we give you up to 45 to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Well, Tony, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you again for all of your support that you give us here at the Chamber. Like you mentioned, you sponsor various events that we have, but then also hosting mega networking multiple times. And that's always a great opportunity to be there. And then also you typically do a demonstration as well.
Yep.
And my favorite was the after hours with the little 3-year-olds. And I think my son was maybe 3 at the time. And I was like, oh my goodness, they're so cute. But thank you again for everything. And thanks for being on the Asheville Rise.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
If you enjoyed today's episode, like, comment, and subscribe. To learn more about joining the Asheville Chamber, scan the QR code on your screen or visit ashevillechamber.org. Until next time.